We are here for the rookie recap video, a weekly feature here on the video, checking in on the rookies as the season goes on, a series which has kind of devolved into, hey, how is Xavier Worthy doing lately? But there is more to talk about than just that. There is some speculation that Xavier Worthy is a bust, and I am here to dispel that immediately, and I plan on having another video about that later on. But Xavier Worthy played 38 snaps of offense, 0 special teams this week. He had 8 targets, 4 receptions, 37 yards, and 9.3 yard average, and a touchdown. Now, I want to jump in here before we get into the rest of the analysis for Xavier Worthy, because this should terrify the NFL. There's nothing actually scary about those statistics per se. 8 targets, that's, I believe, a season high for Xavier Worthy. 4 receptions, I believe that's a season high for Xavier Worthy. 37 yards, nothing special there. 9.3 yard average. That is what I think should terrify the NFL. Xavier Worthy is not coming out here and just being a deep ball specialist. Xavier Worthy is coming out here. He has played 296 snaps so far this season, and he is being an actual NFL wide receiver. He is catching the short stuff. He is catching the medium stuff. He has a few deep targets on the season. Why haven't we seen more Xavier Worthy deep so far this year? Well, why would you throw a deep ball? Why would you throw a deep ball in an NFL game? It is an unnecessary risk. You do it when you have to take risks. The Chiefs have not been in position to have to take risks this NFL season. We saw him with a deep ball win week 1. Very competitive game. Very back and forth game, the closest the Chiefs have been to losing so far this season, in my estimation, over the scale of an entire NFL football game. We have not been in those conditions since. Why throw a deep ball? Why put it on tape? The Chiefs have not been destitute so far this NFL season. The Chiefs are 7-0 without having to take risks. The mitigation of risks at this point is precisely what the Kansas City Chiefs are having to do. The Chiefs are down how many players, how many wide receivers, how many players that were starting on this team are now out for the season? Multiple. So the rest of the regular season will be about the mitigation of risk. The same way that we did not see Patrick Mahomes run that much last season. It was too much risk. Why take it? You were going to be in the playoffs. The Chiefs right now, 7-0, they're going to be in the playoffs. They have to win approximately 3 of their next 10 games in order to get into the playoffs. About 10 wins is normally what it takes to get you into the tournament. Do they want to be a wild card team again? No, they don't, but they proved it doesn't matter. So why not spend the rest of this season that you have the luxury of doing, teaching Xavier Worthy exactly what it means to be a wide receiver in the NFL. Sometimes you have to run clear-out routes. Sometimes you have to take a 4-yard out route. Sometimes you have to block. Maybe not if you're Xavier Worthy. There are different things that Xavier Worthy is going to be prepared to do in the playoffs because he has played so much actual football this year. On the year, he has 37 targets, 19 receptions, 235 yards, a 12.4 yard average, and 3 touchdowns. He adds to that 7 carries, 47 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Rashee Rice, the team's number 1 wide receiver, who is unfortunately absent, through 7 games in his rookie year, had 34 targets, 26 receptions, 305 yards, 11.7 yard average, and 3 touchdowns, meaning he had, Rashee Rice, 3 fewer targets, 7 more receptions, 70 more yards, a little bit higher average, and the same amount of touchdowns. But 0% of the, in fact, negative, he had 1 carry for negative 3 yards, 0% of the rushing upside that Xavier Worthy provides. 7 carries, 47 yards, 2 touchdowns. That means that Xavier Worthy has, in fact, nearly the same yardage amount and 2 more touchdowns along with, get this, 26 touches. Rashee Rice had 26 receptions. Xavier Worthy has 26 touches. Moving on to another player that is starting to get fire for being a bust. Let's hold on. Jared Wiley played 17 snaps and 7 snaps of special teams. This gives him 94 snaps on the season with 9 snaps of special teams. I imagine he was graduating to that 7 snaps of special teams this game as opposed to earlier in the season because Jody Fortson is now gone. What are you going to do at that other spot? So on the year, he has 1 target, 1 reception, and 7 yards. Not great stuff. Nobody wants to see that. Through 7 games of his rookie season, Noah Gray had 106 snaps, 12 snaps more than Jared Wiley. Instead of 1 target, he had 3. Instead of 1 reception, he had 2. Instead of 7 yards, he had 9. Let's pump the brakes a little bit on suggesting that Jared Wiley is a bust through this part of his year. He popped up on the injury report. We are going to see how serious that is. Hopefully is able to dress out still for the game against the Buccaneers. Now, Carson Steel, a surprise at the running back position. No one knew he was going to be getting any carries so far this year. We had no reason to believe that that would be the case for Carson Steel. He was a UDFA that came into camp and impressed, but was not overly impressive. He has 8 snaps on the game, 9 special teams, 2 carries, 6 yards, 1 target, 1 reception, 8 yards. This gives him on the season 41 carries, 141 yards, which is outproducing anything that I think we had any right to assume he would do this season. He also has 6 targets, 3 receptions, and 10 yards on the year. Again, this is all bonus territory. Where does Carson Steel fall into things once we get the return of Isaiah Pacheco? I'm not sure. I think he might be the odd man out because Samaje Perine is so good at third down pass blocking. So it may be that Carson Steel finds himself cut and then re-signed to the practice squad, hopefully after clearing waivers. Now, on to the defensive prospects. And I have a comp down here for both of these guys. 2 safeties. Pardon me. Christian Roland Wallace played 31 snaps, 13 snaps of special teams. He had 2 tackles and 1 QB hit. This gives him on the season 47 snaps, 94 snaps of special teams, 4 tackles, 2 quarterback hits, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception. This is, of course, another undrafted rookie free agent. Another guy. Look, I was wrong. When he came to camp, I have a UDFA video on the channel where I said very clearly, this is an NFL guy. Christian Roland Wallace is an NFL player. He will be on someone's roster this year. I didn't think it would be the Kansas City Chiefs roster. I thought that the Kansas City Chiefs were simply too deep at the position in order to carry a UDFA onto the roster. Surprise to the upside. And guys, not only has he been good, apparently, according to the coaches, he's been better than Jaden Hicks because he has played way more than Jaden Hicks. Jaden Hicks on the game, 9 snaps, 19 special teams on the season. So he did not accrue any stats during the course of the game. On the season so far, 29 snaps, 134 special team snaps, 4 tackles, 1 pass breakup, and 1 interception. These guys have seasons so far that look fairly identical to each other. But if we take it one step further, it's wild, guys. Chamari Connor, through 7 games of his rookie season, 41 snaps, 4 tackles. So 4 tackles, 4 tackles, 4 tackles at the 7-game mark. Chamari Connor also added a tackle for loss. That has been something that Chamari Connor has been good at. He is sort of a laser-pointed missile in run defense, but something that we haven't necessarily seen so far from Christian Roland Wallace or Jaden Hicks. I think that both of them have that, and in fact, I thought Jaden Hicks was going to get credit for a half a sack against the Raiders, but that did not come through. He has been good in his time on the field, converting 29 snaps to 4 tackles. That's good stuff. 4 tackles, a pass breakup, and an interception. Then we have the 2 offensive linemen here. Hunter Nourzad, 5 snaps of special teams. This gives him 34 snaps of special teams on the season. Kingsley Suamataia, 5 snaps of special teams. This gives him 114 snaps of offense on the season and 32 snaps of defense, or special teams, pardon me. Why he would be playing defense, I do not know. He is, I think, going to be primed for more playing time down the stretch. The Chiefs, like I said, are in position to have, they're 7-0. Teams that are 7-0 basically always make the playoffs. They have 10 opportunities to win 3 games. If they move to 8-0, they have 9 opportunities to win 2 games. Not getting ahead of myself, just saying that the space for error on this team is growing by the week. The Texans lost a game, and the lead for the Kansas City Chiefs in the conference is growing. Not the division. The conference. The gap between the Kansas City Chiefs and other teams in the conference is growing. So here's what I want to say because of that. If you look at this list of rookies, I think Kingsley Suamataia is going to be primed for more playing time going forward. I think if nothing else, they'd just work him in because, hey, why not? Hunter Nourzad, I don't know. I did not see anything from him in the preseason that lets me know he is prepared just yet to be taking snaps in the NFL. He definitely showed the potential to be a starter in the preseason, but he looked way too sporadic to be doing that just yet. Jaden Hicks is coming along nicely. He is getting more playing time. He is growing as a player. If we look him up on a game-by-game basis here, if I can figure this out, one moment. He started off not getting any snaps at all this season. So 0 snaps in week 1, 5, then 3, then 5, then 0, then 7, then 9. So in the past 2 weeks, he has his 2 highest playing time games of the season with 7 and 9 snaps back to back. When we look at Christian Roland Wallace, something similar is occurring. He is getting more snaps as the season goes on. This is important. He played 1 snap 3 weeks ago, 15 snaps last week, or 2 weeks ago, and 31 snaps this past game. He is growing in experience, and he is going to be a player that's ready to take the field come the playoffs the same way that was Chamari Connor last season. Chamari Connor last year played good in the playoffs, despite the fact that he did not play too terribly much up to that point. I think something similar might be going on with Jared Wiley. He is not playing terribly much. He is not producing a whole lot of stats. But I think that what is going on in this offense is that he has to learn the non-receiving parts before he gets to the receiving stuff. Very complicated offense. A whole lot of different goings around, right? A lot of stuff going on around him. He has to be responsible for the stuff where he doesn't have the ball in order to get a target from Patrick Mahomes in a high-leverage situation. I think Jody Fortson has gone down. I honestly don't know the extent of that injury. I believe it is season-ending. I never followed up on that, so that is on me. But I imagine it is. That has been sort of Jody Fortson's luck in the NFL. And the Chiefs seem intent on having 3 tight ends ready to go. They pulled up a 4th tight end, and he got reps and he got targets that could have gone to Jared Wiley. Now they'll have to go to Jared Wiley. Xavier Worthy, I think, is in a very similar position. 296 snaps on the season. You're looking at a player that is accruing playing time and not being the focus of the offense. You're looking at a guy who is catching the ball about 50% of the time. That's going to go up. He's going to catch the ball 55% of the time, 60%, 65% of the time. You can tell that right now it's just a little too much for him because he gets his hand on the ball all the time. Look at all of his drops. He's getting his hands out there. He's just not hauling it in. That will change as time goes on, I believe. He has shown the propensity to catch the football. He has shown the propensity to have very good catches. So make very difficult catches. I think that playing with someone like DeAndre Hopkins might be something that fosters him along, something that was unforeseen at the beginning of the season, but I think he will benefit from it. I think that he will benefit especially from DeAndre Hopkins' ability to vary the tempo of his routes. He does not have to kill it all the time, and I think that will pay off for Xavier Worthy come the playoffs, just the same way that it did for Rashee Rice last season. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing that I talk about on this channel. Dropping multiple videos a week. I have dropped a Chiefs video every day for the last 600 plus days, and I hope to have you back for the next one.